Hi there. In this video we'll be covering how do I begin to write my life story. It's so easy to get discouraged and give up without finishing your book, but following the tips in this video can help put you on the right path. By the end of this video you will learn how to keep your reader in mind, how to tap into your purpose, and why starting at the beginning with your story probably isn't the best option. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. It's such a powerful process to write your story and to put it on paper and to make sense of it. But at the same time, as much as that journey is about you and your growth, the book at the end isn't for you. It's for the reader. It's an interesting thing that this process, this journey, this book that you're putting together, it can help you in so many ways, but the end result isn't actually meant for you. It's meant for this person who's going to read your book. So you need to understand who your reader is. You need to understand why your story matters to them and why you're the right person to tell them this story. It could be your business experience, it could be a personal journey, it could be your experiences, it could be an expertise that you developed after years of research and interviewing people. It could be anything. Maybe you grew up into a certain, lifestyle or career, or were surrounded by people. Whatever that case is and whatever brought you to becoming the expert writing this book, keep your reader in mind. If you keep your reader at the forefront, it's going to help you write a book that's meant for them instead of writing a book that's for you, which is a disappointment and a failure. By keeping the reader at the forefront, you're going to write a book that's tailored to them instead of writing a book that's tailored to yourself. And writing a book that's tailored to the reader is going to have a much bigger impact. It's easy enough to focus on the actual writing process, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. But I really want to focus on your why. Why are you writing this book? What's the point of it? What do you hope to accomplish by writing it? By keeping that purpose at the forefront, it's really going to help you along. Because if you think about writing and publishing a book so you can hand it out at speeches that you give to people, to audiences, to groups, then you're thinking about how this book can help them and what you want them to do when they leave the speech and go home at the end of the day. Maybe there's different services and offerings that you can connect to the book as a call to action. So at the end of the book, you can actually send people to your website where they can learn about your high-value services. I've worked with people who've turned book sales into tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in courses sold because they sell high-level courses. It's great to be able to connect your purpose to the book's message and be able to have that resonate to the reader journey. Again, going back to the reader. This is about the reader journey. What do you want the reader to do after they're done? Whether that's watching you give a speech, whether that's signing up for high-level coaching services, whether that's simply becoming a thought leader and becoming an expert in a certain space. By having that purpose at the forefront during the writing process, it's going to keep you motivated. Because if you know that this book is a positioning statement for your speeches to groups, it's going to keep you going. Instead of just saying, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this, but people tell me I should write a book. Think about why you're doing it and infuse that purpose with the actual book itself. Now that you've done all this deep inner work to figure out why you're writing this book and who is it for and what the takeaways are, think about the outline. Think about how you're structuring the book. What are the chapters about? How does one chapter lead into another chapter? What is the goal when you put all these chapters together at the end of the story? There should be an outline to help guide the reader to get to the end of their reader's journey. And the outline can be so creative and innovative. Sometimes I will take index cards or Post-it notes and put them all together. If I have Post-it notes, I'm going to put them on the wall and just move them around until I figure out what structure the chapter should take. Other times I just write quick bullet points and there it is. There's the outline. Even if it's 5 minutes, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, put together an outline, because when you figure out what chapters are in your book and what you want to say, it's going to make it so much easier when you actually start writing. Otherwise, you're just going to write and write and write and say, I wonder if this is going in the book. And sometimes it's not, which means you may have wasted time writing things that don't actually matter. So by figuring out the scope of the book at the beginning of the process, you're going to save so much time in the end. When thinking about a powerful life story, Think about your most powerful moment, the moment that's going to help to capture the reader's attention and get them excited to read further. That's probably not the beginning of your life. Beginning of your life is important. All those insights matter, but there could be some other story from another point in your journey that makes the most sense to open the story in a compelling way. In most cases, just rattling off some biographical details aren't going to mean too much. Tell a story, capture the moment, capture a scene, something where everything changed, where the outcome was in doubt, where there was a big challenge to overcome. You don't start it right in the beginning, because right in the beginning, everybody has that beginning. Even if it's a different beginning, we all have a beginning of some kind. I want to know, what is this moment about? You tease it a little bit, and then you jump back to the beginning. And then eventually, somewhere along the way, you come back to this moment and resolve it and work through it. There's so many different approaches that you can take in the writing process itself. Different formats, whether it's speech-to-text transcription, whether it's typing on a computer, whether it's writing on a pen and paper. I want you to think about writing in a different way. If you have the story outlined and the scope figured out, write the scenes and write the stories that inspire you and draw you in. Go out of order. It doesn't need to go in direct order when you're writing this book, because you have all the chapters mapped out. So it doesn't matter if you write chapter 7 before chapter 2. It doesn't matter anything. Find what motivates and inspires you the most. Find what piece of writing is getting you excited and jump into that full force. Let it stew in your mind a little bit. Think about what's drawing you in. What's making you think about it further? Why are you getting excited? Tap into that, because being interested and connected to the writing is going to make it that much stronger for the reader. If you're engaged on the writing process, they're likely more engaged on the reading process. So write what matters to you now and jump around if you have to, but keep track of things to make sure that you're making progress. But don't be afraid to write it out of order, because in the end, it's all going to get blended together into the different chapters. But find what is motivating you and inspiring you and making you think about it, and write about that. If you want to learn more about how do I begin to write my life story, I recorded a course that I really think you're going to enjoy. It's called Good Book Mastery. You can head to goodbookmastery.com. You can click the link below, and there you can learn all of my tips and insights on the entire book writing, production, publishing, and promotion processes. Every single step along the way, all of my lessons from 6+ years of ghostwriting, of ghostwriting 30+ books, I poured into this course. I wanted to help as many people as I could. So if you have questions, definitely check it out. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.